All right, yo. Redoing this because I didn't like the first time it came out. Gather my thoughts. Here's my first impressions on everything for 326. Jumping down, all the league stuff is pretty cool. The mercenaries seem just okay. I probably don't know enough to really say or do anything regarding that. Um, this focus channeling and a lot of the channeling support that they've added, buffing spell skills in terms of numbers, especially for these channeling ones, seems good, but also feels weird considering there isn't WASD movement for stuff yet. So channeling still has this major downside of you have to stand still. So you have to build your character pretty tanky in order to stand still and gain the benefits of channeling and things like that. I don't know. Doesn't seem great to me, at least right now, but that's just me. Shaper and Elder Orbs is fine. These other orbs are also fine. It's too early to tell, I think, how good they're going to be, especially because we just haven't had a chance to play with them, especially these new ones for the league stuff because of, memory strands and things like that. It looked really, really powerful, being able to gain, consume memory shards to upgrade the tiers of your modifiers seems really, really good. I don't know how it's going to really work until we get our hands on it, but it seems good. Um, this is really nice. Rogue Harbor, no longer you have to touch the chest in order to go to the place. You can just go to the place. This has a side effect later. This message output to chat for Nameless Seer and Reflecting Mist, pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Won't miss them in case. Anything to give your players better odds of not missing things is always good. This is the PoE 2 thing, where you don't lose experience, which is nice because then it removes the stress of it, so you can just go and fight it when you feel like you're ready to, rather than waiting until you level up just in case you needed to, so you can quote unquote save your progress. Kind of talked about this already. The Alice memories being removed. Existing items will be deleted upon logging in. Existing memories on your Alice have been removed. The big ticket one, like I said before, was Einhar's memory of Harvest Beasts, for wild bristle matrons and things like that. Because those are going away, I'm not sure how you'll be able to find wild bristle matrons anymore. And if the only way is to just continue to use these red tier Kirak missions in order to get that, I don't know if that's good or not. This quality of life thing is really good. Also good quality of life. This is an amazing quality of life. It's going to make fragment farming, especially once you get your 2 stones and you're like, I need to start doing my Elder Guardian rotations and things like that. This is going to make it way, way, way easier to do that, because you'll be fishing for Alhemzin or Constrictor, but you only have a Crusader map or XYZ different map, and then you can kind of re-roll them into the one that you're looking for to get the fragment drop in order to get the boss drops, so that you can access Uber or Shaper Elder, Uber Elder. So that'll make it way easier to go from 2 stones to 4 stones. Also has a side effect of being able to target farm for specific exalted orbs. So it's particularly the Conqueror ones. So that's nice. This is kind of bad. Completing non-unique map at a tier lower than it's naturally found no longer grants the map bonus objective on completion. What people would do sometimes is they would roll their Kirak missions looking for any of them that were incomplete, and if they were lower, then you only had to satisfy that particular map bonus objective. So if you did a red map or a naturally occurring red map at the yellow tier, you would not need to run that yellow tier map corrupted in order to get the bonus. You would just automatically complete the bonus, and then you wouldn't have to corrupt that red map anymore. it really only matters for the red maps because of the corruption thing, because running things at rare, Alk and Go strats have been classically very good, and it's way easier to do than in PoE 2. So that's not a huge deal. But it does matter for Atlas progression, at least a little bit. This is a bug fix, but these ones being removed has implications. Particularly Burial Chambers was good for farming Brother's Gift or Brother's Stash. And there was another one. Infested Valley being gone means that Rizlatha's Coil, or the main spot to farm Rizlatha's Coil, is also gone. And so Bleed Enjoyers are kind of shit out of luck on that one. Actually, I don't know if any of these can drop the div card for Rizlatha's Coil, but I know Infested Valley was the main one. Intelligence Gathering being removed is pretty interesting because it means that you're no longer incentivized to do 5522 on your Betrayal board, and like farming one of your twos, because now you can't run that and get bonuses to your intended farming of a particular safe house, because with less members this node is not as good, and with more members it is good. So it's hard to say whether it's going to be good or not, or if a new safe house running strategy will emerge from this, especially because all of the rewards got reworked and rebalanced. Settlers going core is fine. The upkeep part of it is super annoying. Currency exchange going core is super important, and passive respec and gambling coming core is super important, I think. But the actual settlers thing itself is bad because the upkeep in maintaining these people is so mobile game coded that it's not enjoyable at all. They did streamline it a little bit, right? Now there's only Kuri and Kalgurin, right? And so you can get tattoos from the Kuri and you can get rune graphs from the Kalgurins, but it's still gotta load up your ship, gotta send out your ship, gotta wait 40 in-game minutes, hope you don't run out of gold while you're doing that thing. It's just, I don't know. Okay, Betrayal rework. A lot of this stuff is really interesting. I think this is a really good change. Changing the Katarina fight to a key so that you don't have to keep resetting your board is really nice and allows you to, actually farm Gravicius or whoever you like a lot more easily. And I like that. Boss fight being improved is great because, man, she has like 4 fucking invulnerability phases. And you have to like do it at the beginning and then run through the hideout, and then she heals to full, and it's really annoying. This is cool, new unveil mods on Katarina items. So Cane of Kulamak, the Bone Offering dress, Devouring Diadem, the flask. There's like a shield that's like fingers or something. Yeah, it's great if maybe those will become more viable now. Rare double veiled items could be good. I mean, veiled modifiers are so strong. Like the raw unveil modifiers are so strong, not the crafted ones, that if you get like the god version, this is GG. So now this slows down your ability to farm safe houses over and over again. This is one that I don't understand. Once you get your hands on a safe house leader, your only option now is to execute them. And then there's some like meme copy text. This makes me nervous because when you run a safe house and you kill the leader, or you imprison them, right? They get kicked out and then somebody takes their place. So I don't know if it's just a change from interrogate to execute, whereas normally execute means kill them and increase their rank. But if you get a safe house leader in your map or in your encounter, and you're only able to execute them, as in increase their rank and not shuffle them around, this is bad. I don't think that's what this is, but if that's the way, it's ambiguous is the issue, right? Anyways, the rebalance rewards seem pretty good, especially like the corruption chamber one, where you can keep corrupting a unique item in hopes that you can get like your target corrupted implicits that you want. Plus it allows, it's like the fully upgraded corruption chamber where you can get 2, so that's really, really good. Now you don't only have to do Alva, now you also have the option to do June for double corrupt implicits. All Flames being here is fine. This is a huge thing because it makes these are kind of combined together. So the fact that you can't unveil to get the craft, now you have to find the craft in your maps, makes it more cumbersome. Because what if, hybrid res or +1 pierce or any of these really, really high value failed mods is locked behind a map that you don't get for a long time. And so it'll make your journey from, white maps getting into red maps a lot harder because you won't have access to stuff naturally or because you can sometimes farm June a little bit more in lower maps and then fish for those unveils. However, it says there are 41 new recipe objects which unlock veiled modifier crafting options on your crafting bench, and some have been combined with pre-existing recipe objects that unlock normal crafting bench modifiers, which makes me believe that maybe, hybrid res, for example, you won't have to fish for it. Now it'll be hybrid res and it'll be all 3. Or the chaos hybrid res is like probably the most important early game craft that you want to find. And not being able to find those, or hopefully they'll be grouped together, but not being able to find them in maps normally is a little bit of an issue, I think. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. Skills. Animate Guardian. I don't give a shit. I'm not a minion guy. I don't like animated Guardians. I think they're bad. And yeah, that's how it is. Bane, I think most of like the skills that got buffed were like a 20 to 30% increase in damage just overall, which is just nice. This Blade Blast of Unloading, getting 5% more damage per Blade Vortex blade at all gem levels, is pretty big, specifically for the Blade Vortex Blade Blast of Unloading Triggerbot Saboteur. And it's one that like Ben or somebody played like a couple of these ago. It works just like an auto bomber. All you do is fucking run around the map, and your Blade Blast of Unloading just like sprints out, or like it like spreads out from you. It's like if RF like started at you and discharged outwards, which seems cool. And then some of them got like small buffs, right? This is 20%. This is a 20% increase from previous. The fact that Blade Trap of Laceration can be used with one-handed axes is great because axes have higher top-end Fizz DPS range, which means better bleeds, which means more damage, which is great. I don't really want to talk about these too much. Body Swap got a pretty big boost, but I'm not sure what you would use for this because this is the sacrifice version, which means it targets your minions, and I'm not sure that the marionettes still exist, because the reason that skill was really good was that you had marionette specters that would revive themselves, and then you could just keep swapping to them to kill them, and then they would respawn, right? And so it wouldn't be a huge deal. I don't know. A lot of love for Chaos. Like I said, 20 to 30% across the board. Chaos, Chaos, Chaos. Bone Shatter of Carnage getting a boost is kind of interesting because Bone Shatter and Bone Shatter of Complex Trauma are already good. This is a pretty big boost as well. The jump to 21 to 32% of maximum life from 24 is pretty big, but I've never seen like an archetype for this. Like, I don't even know what you would play with this, right? Like, it's a life stacker, obviously, but what kind of life stacker? Like, I can't even think of, like, you know, like, would it be like Juggernaut, Burning Arrow? I don't know. Seems weird. Golems got a huge boost, but I don't know enough about them. I think Crackling Lance is a really fun skill, and it got some nice added effectiveness. I'm not sure how good it'll be. It looked like they were also targeting a lot of Cold, so Cold and Chaos got some pretty nice buffs. Cold skills about 20 to 30% across the board. Chaos about 20 to 30% across the board. This Cyclone, you're about the same speed, but now your quality gives you more range, which will be nice for, like, you know, cast on crit Cyclone or cast while channeling Cyclone, something, right? I think crit might be a little better since they showed off that, like, cool unique item where it said cast level 20 Starfall on melee critical, and they were using Cyclone to do that, which seemed cool. Here's a 25% increase on Death Aura for Death's Oath. Right. DD of Chain Reaction, absolutely gutted. Feels fucking terrible for all of us Detonate Dead enjoyers. Discharge, never played Discharge, I have no idea. All these, Divine Ire is a channeling skill. Channeling's got a lot of love. Still not good enough, I don't think. But, you know, I don't know. ED buffs across the board, right? And, like, pretty significant ones too, right? 20 to 30% across the board. Very slight buff to self-casting Sanguinite. Maybe Sanguinite Minor will come back, who knows? I have Winter, right? I have Winter. These are cold skills. Cold skills getting, you know, slight buffs, 20 to 30% across the board. Fire Trap got a little bit of a nerf. It's kind of I wouldn't say it's an overperformer, but it's very popular because a lot of fire builds use Fire Trap to supplement their damage. And that included, you know, it included DD back in the day, and also included Armageddon Brand, Cremation, all that stuff. They use Fire Trap to supplement. Flame Blast of Celerity is also a channeling skill, but this one looks really good, and the celerity part, it's supposed to be faster than normal Flame Blast with a little bit less damage, but it got like a ton of damage in this, so now it's like, I don't know, man, right? And the base gem now has the quality included in it, right? So it's still big. Frostblades feels kind of bad. 30% less damage with hits and ailments for Frostblades is, and here's the thing, because Frostblades only hits once. Lightning Strike was really egregious because with the extra strike, it could hit twice. Frostblades cannot do that. It can't hit twice. There's no way for it to hit twice. Because the normal one, you hit and then the fan comes out at outside of it, and there's only like one guy that I know that plays Frostblades in every single league. So this is a 30% nerf to specifically that guy. And this is huge, right? 409 down to 240. That sucks. I played Catabasis once. It was a great build. Hex Blast kind of got neutered, if I'm being honest, because these 2-second cooldown timers will also apply to mines and traps, right? So Hex Blast Minor, I think, is dead. Yeah, that's rough. Unless you play Hex Blast of Havoc. I guess, because this one doesn't say that it has a 2-second cooldown time with 3 uses, so who knows. Actually, you know what this speaks to me? It speaks to me that, God, this is gonna sound so dumb. This seems to me like they're trying to do like combo gameplay, like hex something else, hex blast, hex da da da, and then like rotational like stuff, and like that kind of sucks. But this is probably Jonathan's vision right here. Holy Flame Totem getting matching spell totems is great. I don't know. This will help early. Holy Flame Totem, Flame Wall, Rolling Magma is the most popular leveling build. It got unchanged, so ice skills 20-30% buff across the board, except for this one, Ice Nova Frost Bolts. Can expand from up to 2 Frost Bolts, previously 4, and 25% less area of effect when cast on Frostbolt. Or, no longer has a 25% less area of effect, but the base radius got nerfed, right? So now, not only are you doing half as much damage from this, you're doing half as much damage in a smaller area, because I think this 2.2 is more than 25% less from 3 at a baseline. So it's a smaller area and you only get 2. And now it's not like the damage or anything got neutered, but its ability to do like that like insane amount of clear got really, really neutered. And so it doesn't really seem as worth to try this, but who knows? Maybe somebody will figure it out and be like, it's still great. Obviously less good than it was before, but still great. Incinerate. Holy damage, right? Again, these are channeling though, and the channeling parts kind of sucks because there's no velocity to help you move, and I don't know. Yeah. This seems weird. Infernal Cry getting this massive mana cost adjustment, right? It's almost 100% more mana than it was before. Seems weird. I don't know. I didn't think it was that good, and I didn't even think it was the one that people were using. People mostly use General's Cry or Enduring Cry. So why this one became like this, I have no idea. Lightning Conduit of the Heaven got an additional line, which is awesome, right? And that's it. Lightning Conduit of the Heavens, Herald of Thunder, Elementalist seems to be a build that got a decent amount of love. So who knows? Maybe that's something I'll try. Lightning Strike absolutely brutalized. 50% less damage with hits and ailments on the projectile part. Effectively makes it so that your first hit does 25% less damage and your second hit does 50% less damage. So you're overall dealing like 40-ish% less damage than you were before. And that's before the returning proj slight nerf. So who knows? It's probably still good, but it's definitely not as good as before. Like by a lot. Lightning Tendrils, don't know enough about this. Molten Strike feels a little bit bad. It's about 33-ish% less damage. Connor said it was fine. I'm sure it is. It just, the amount of time it takes to get this build online is a lot. And yeah, it can scale, but now it's going to take you 33% longer to get online and 33% longer to scale to the appropriate level. Power Siphon. Interesting stuff here because its damage effectiveness got nerfed, but its attack speed got buffed. And what this means, in my opinion, is that it's kind of so the Power Siphon Minor and the Power Siphon Spell Totems got nerfed because they aren't using the attack speed portion of this, but self-cast Power Siphon got buffed, and I'm not sure if that's good enough, but maybe it is. I mean, there's because the other thing is that self-cast, they really wanted to buff self-cast, and they did, and particularly Spellslinger got buffed, so maybe there's a world in which you use Power Siphon because of its attack speed being 150% and it being a decent skill and giving you the access to power charges, and you use that to proc your Spellslingers. Maybe. Could be good. This is a new line on Righteous Fire of Arcane Devotion. That's the mana one. The issue with that is that this version of Righteous Fire doesn't have the more spell damage when it's active. So this is kind of like this is sort of bringing up its power level, but definitely not enough, I don't think. But that's just me. Because I don't play Righteous Fire. Scorching Ray. Again, channeling got tons of love. Not sure if it's good enough. Scourge Arrow. Scourge Arrow, I think, is also a channeling skill. So, again, Scourge Arrow got channeling got a lot of love. This is also interesting. It's like 4 at the top end, right? 16 to 24 from 13 to 20 per 15. I mean, the idea is that you want a 3,000 armor shield, and at that point, this gives you a ton of added fire. It's like something like 4,000 added fire on a 3,000 armor shield. It's a crazy amount of added fire. So, but it's Shield Crush, so who knows? And because it's fire, you got to scale it with fire. You could do Avatar of Fire Slayer, maybe. I don't know. Siphoning Trap. It's cold damage. Cold damage got 20 to 30% across the board. Soul Rend, 20 to 30% across the board. Splitting Spellslinger, huge buff. 30 to 25% reservation down to 20%. This is now a Herald, and you could probably do tons of good stuff with Spellslinger. I'm, as a Spellslinger enjoyer or a trigger enjoyer, Spellslinger being more easily accessible to play in line with a bunch of other stuff is good. Splitting Steel, this archetype is dead. Projectiles can no longer return. It was like Lightning Strike in the sense that it was melee but not. Now that the projectiles can't return, it's way worse than Lightning Strike, and its damage effectiveness is also worse than Lightning Strike still. Lightning Strike after the nerf. So I don't think this archetype is gonna exist anymore. And that kind of sucks. Golem's supposedly good, but I don't know enough about golems or minions to understand this stuff. And then Vortex and Winter Orb and Wintertide Brand, like I said, cold, 20 to 30% across the board. The important one here is Vol Lightning Strike, right? Also got a nerf alongside the fact that the skills don't do 50% less with hits and stuff. It doesn't say that here, so maybe VLS is still okay to run on the side just to pump damage, but I don't know, man. Feels bad. Lightning Strike just got beat with a stick. Arcane Surge got a pretty nice buff. So self-casters are probably going to want this. Archmage, still viable. I mean, this 19 down to 16 is only about 150 damage at 5,000 mana. So take that as you will, right? This other stuff is kind of whatever, if I'm being honest. Slight nerf to Returning Proj, right? It's a little bit less damage. And then, Spell Echo and Unleash a little bit easier on the cost and reservation, and a little bit buffed in terms of damage numbers, right? So no longer causes supported skills to deal 10 less damage, and this is on Awakened as well, right? But No longer causes support skills deal 10% less, and is now 45 to 36 from 50 to 41, right? So you're gaining like a whole 5% more at this point for Unleash. Spell Echo. Maybe we'll see the return of something like Impending Doom or something. I don't know. Ascendancy changes. Berserker. Some of these are really cool. This is like really good Defiance of Destiny because when you reach 10 Defiance, it's 30% of missing unreserved, which is like a pre-nerfed Defiance of Destiny, which is sick. 30% of life leech is instant is an insane amount of instant leech. I don't know if you need that much, but it's just kind of hilarious to see. This seems kind of cool. I'm not sure really how this works though, right? Like if there's nothing there, does like an ancestral guy just like swing through the air, right? That seems kind of weird. It seems like less good ancestral strike. Champion 42 change is huge, right? You have your maximum fortification. It's great. So if you can boost that, this is a huge power boost. Now it's back to default 20. If you can get to 30 fortitude, that's 30% more armor evasion. If you can get to 25, right, it's 15% more armor and evasion, and a 15% increased attack speed, right? I mean, fortification stacker. Seems sick. The banners are not good. I don't really know about this one. Shrine buff is the Daughter of Oshabi one. Seems good. This is huge, right? 50% increased reservation efficiency is amazing for Guardian. It does make Guardian pretty appealing in this sense. This sucks though, because mana reservation efficiency and mana cost is like one of the build limiting factors in a lot of things. Hierophant getting this kind of is getting beat with a stick. I don't think this 1% of mana per second regeneration is anywhere close to the power level of this. Saboteur. We got the Blind Prophet skill. It's Nimbus Light on a ascendancy node that you can take 2 points to get. This is not good. Crit strike chance lucky, damage with hits unlucky, I think is way less good than people think it is, because you get lucky crit strike and then you crit and then it rolls your damage as unlucky and you get 0 on your damage, and then 0 times 2 is 0. Trickster got nerfed slightly. Not really, but slightly. It's okay. Trickster is already the best ascendancy in the game. Elementalist, I don't really know what to make of this. This is a cool one. I like this one. Bringer of Ruin, which is 66% increased mana reservation for Heralds and Herald skill buff effect. Could do some sort of interesting Herald stacker. Or, like I said earlier, because Lightning Conduit got that buff, you could do Herald of Thunder, Lightning Conduit, which is a real build, Spellslinger. Who knows? Could be good. But yeah, I don't really know how to evaluate these. The Shaper of Flames one it's got reworked from an offensive node to be a defensive node as its secondary buff. This one seems okay as well, the Shaper of Winter. It's just I don't understand the full effect of this. Like, it seems good, right? Like, you put chill on them and then they take more damage and they deal less damage. It's great. I don't know if this other stuff is better though. Shock Boost is great. So, Shaper of Storms plus this for Lightning Conduit, Spellslinger, Herald of Thunder seems fine. This sucks. Elemental Mastery for 25% chance to treat as inverted, going down to 15 is a pretty big nerf for that. The Instant Leech going from 10 to 5 is probably barely noticeable, if I'm being honest. Especially in endgame, you really only need like 1 or 2% leech, and you're like back at full. This one seems also good. Unnerve with wands was good, but it got replaced with reservation efficiency for Spellslinger. I don't know, man. Spellslinger getting a lot of love here. And then, there's other stuff here. The big one, Relicus Impatience, huge nerf, right? You gotta really choose your one, whereas before they were really good for doubling up on stuff. So ascendancies that could really take advantage of that with like Badge of the Brotherhood and stuff like that. So Trickster with the Frenzy Charge one, and Slayer with Masterful Form, right? Being able to double up on your max power charge stat or your max endurance charge stacking, and then having your frenzies be equal to that and not having to worry about generating them feels kind of like a pretty big nerf, but you know, they gave it the move speed back, and this is kind of nice to be immune to corrupted blood. You know, it's pretty nice corrupt that people fish for on jewels and stuff. So that's pretty much it. See you next time.